We are going live with the Warlords. Let's see here. Stream with an excellent connection, showing live buttons, and once the countdown starts, we are good to go. How's it going, Warlords? I'm the DarkBriton of the Runaway Warlords, and we don't have a chapter this week. Normally, for many of those who have been with the channel for a bit, we start a lot of these Sundays with a live reaction review of One Piece. However, no chapter. Tears. I know. But I have some amazing Nakama to help me in this 8th Warlord Roundtable. If you want to introduce yourself, cool kid, you want to start?
Well, I'm Cool Kid, and I'm usually always here at the round table.
There you go. And Segrain, mind introducing yourself, my dude?
I'm Segrain. I think that's it.
That's fair. Cool. So, today, again, since there's not necessarily a chapter, we are going to be doing a lot more of the discussion piece. So, I really wanted to start off with just last chapter. We had in 1013, we had a certain Monkey D falling from a high place. Thoughts on? I want to hear both of your thoughts on now that we've had a week to digest and freak out and have all our theories go crazy. What do you both think can come of this?
Well, I'm just going to say something that I think we can all agree. Luffy's not going to die here. He's going to be okay soon, right?
I think that's fair. Segrain, is that something you feel you can agree with, or you're like, nah?
Nah.
So the MC is going to die. For Wireless, or if Drew does, but for some reason it just works out so much better with his. Cool. Back on track. Well, we were just talking about Luffy falling out. Segrain is just like Buggy is going to be the new MC. He's going to find the One Piece, which, I mean, Roger did tell him, come back and find the One Piece someday if you want that to be you. I respectfully will disagree with you, though, Segrain. Respectfully.
I would respectively say the same thing.
Just because someone in, of course, Mucho, what's going on, guys? Mucho De Niro. Yeah, this is, I don't know what's going on with my.
Whoa.
Do you guys see is it working on y'all's end?
Real quick.
Yep.
Oh, now it's back on for me.
No, okay.
Back.
So weird. Mucho De Niro, what's going on? How's it going, brother? Thank you for joining us for another round table. For all those who are in the chat, if you could go ahead and like the stream, it really does help us out. I do apologize. For some reason, my internet bandwidth is not doing as well. So there's a few little hiccups. Hopefully it'll be able to get back on the right track. I don't even think it's raining either. So it's literally just a few just issues. But again, thank you for your patience. But right now, I would like to pose that since a certain young dragon is literally listening in on the fight and keeping up with everything going on, that he will know that Luffy has gotten knocked out and has gotten knocked off Onigashima, and he can fly. So I think that Momo is going to rescue Luffy. I really do.
Whoa, wait. How come we never thought of this? Like,
I have no idea. Someone said it in. I went back after our stream last week and watched Roger's reaction, and someone in the stream was just like, "Oh, Momo's gonna save him," and Roger's like, "You are an MVP," and I'm just like, "I'm stealing that." Yes, it's.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, that when you say it out loud, now I'm like, oh wait, that makes perfect sense. Why didn't I think of this before?
Mm-hmm. It's one of the. That's why I love our community, because everyone's over here just like, blah blah blah. I have no idea, and then it's just like, oh yeah, Momo can fly. Why didn't we remember this? Which, another topic I do want to discuss is the anime, which we'll get to afterwards, because the anime last night made for certain that a certain character is not coming back. Did both either of you see the anime last night?
I don't generally watch the anime except for like clips and stuff, but you know, I might get to watch. I mean, I don't care about if you spoil it to me.
Segrain, if we bring up the topic in a bit, do you mind if I talk about that in detail?
I've missed the anime for about a month, but I've already read the manga, so I don't mind.
Okay.
It's not spoiling.
Okay. Because I personally think, in the anime last night, it's very, very certain that Toki's dead. It is very, very certain. Like, she was dropped hard. So, all of the theories that Toki was the one who healed the scabbards and all of that, like, we saw the body, we saw the blood draining out of the body. It was like, wow, okay. So all the theories of Toki being alive, done. Because Oda left it very ambiguous in the manga, but the anime just up and just like, yo, Aba-santa, thanks for stopping by. But yeah, the anime made it very, very certain that Toki is dead. So Toki is not going. So all the fan theories of Toki coming back and helping out, unfortunately, aren't going to come to fruition unless the anime just did that, and she jumped to the future and is still bleeding out and dying. That could also be a thing. But yeah, it was very, very apparent that we saw the body and we saw her falling. So as far as the theories go, Toki is no longer the one who saved the scabbards, in my opinion. And I have no idea who she couldn't heal, so I'm not really sure why people were also thinking that Toki was very obvious as far as healing the scabbards, which left me a little confused.
But she didn't. I don't think the person actually healed them, but like he covered up their wounds and stuff like that.
Fair.
Yeah, I would agree to that kind of extent because I don't think.
So now there's
Go ahead.
mystery running around. So now there's another mystery. A plus to our dozens of.
That when Jesus Burgess was in Dressrosa, were actually fruits. So it's becoming very apparent that they eat a devil fruit.
Yeah, because when devil fruits get their devil fruit, they know how it once you eat it.
Fair.
Well, except for Luffy.
Except that, and two, devil fruit plus, just because you eat the devil fruit, you don't know the...
Maybe he'll just eat it out of starvation and stuff like fruit user.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna want to see. It'll be interesting. I don't think that we've seen the last of the fruit, but I do think that I hope that it'll turn up somewhere. It's too important of a fruit. I am still upset that we haven't seen that we didn't get to understand what Toki knows, if anything, especially after the finality of how the anime ended with her. It's just, man. Let's see here. We can check out a chat real quick. So do you guys think anyone else big time will appear in Wano? Or are all the pieces there for the end of the arc? I do think that, one, we're slowly winding down Act 3. I think this is going to be a 5-act arc. I don't know what other pieces, unless CP0, sorry. So I'm so used to saying CP9.
Okay.
Unless Aegis Zero has other people coming in, or unless there's someone who could fly like Caruso from the Revolutionary Army, I don't know if anyone can make it up on the Onigashima until it falls.
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'd like to say this just in case, because early in the arc we know Blackbeard had some spies in Wano. I still think somehow, maybe not Blackbeard himself, but maybe one of his crew could show up. I don't know.
That'd be
still
cool.
think it's. I just still think it's like, okay, Blackbeard knowing what to want. That's still an important plot point that I think might have importance into this raid on Onigashima.
Wait, does Blackbeard have spies in Wano?
Yeah.
idea.
Because if you remember during the in-between act chapters, Blackbeard knows what's exactly happening in Wano, so he has definitively spies in Wano. We don't know who or what the spies are. We just know he has spies in there.
True. Yeah, and I can never say no, just because of how One Piece is structured. I mean, we have X-Drake, who is a spy of the military. The Navy had spies in Kaido's army, and they have Aokiji working with Blackbeard now. So who knows? Aokiji could be the spy in Blackbeard. So I do think that there is a very good chance of a spy. Like I don't know who. It would be interesting, like if Apu was actually like a triple agent or something, which would just be fun.
That would be crazy,
right? But those are because he doesn't seem to have that strong of allegiance. Queen just tried murdering him, so it would be easy to see Apu just be like, "See ya, deuces."
The thing is, Wano is a very ambiguous arc to the extent that the deeper you dig into the arc, the more confusing it gets, and the more complicated the pieces get. So,
true.
Piecing it together to be like we've seen, that's it for the big characters in Wano, is something you cannot predict until you are sure the arc is over, which we are not till we see Kaido defeated. That's one thing.
And again, I'm one of those people who still doesn't think that Kaido is going to be quote unquote defeated, if you will. He has to be defeated, but I just don't know how. At this rate.
Yes.
Especially with Luffy just getting knocked off like a goddamn ragdoll.
Yeah, true.
Because there has been so much talk, and I know the community, we have an amazing community here. A lot of people took to heart what I think it were editors or people who worked in One Piece who were just like, oh, it's a 3-act arc. Oh, it's a 3-act arc. So everyone has been expecting this more or less finale. But I think where we're at now is kind of similar to Whole Cake when the, the Tamako box blew up. Everyone thought that was going to be the end. Then came the chase scene, Pedro's finale, spoiler I guess for anyone, Luffy versus Katakuri. Like, so much stuff happened after we thought that the arc was about to end in Whole Cake, and I'm just using that as an example. So I could definitely still see a 5-act structure, and 2 some type of overarching, because it's Oda, he's going to figure out a way that we're all just going to be like, well, goddamn, of how Kaido can be dethroned in a matter that makes sense, doesn't break Luffy. Like, everyone for the last month has been like, oh, Luffy is this, Luffy is that. I think he's top 10, but again, one-on-one, I was iffy on. So I'm interested in seeing how that moves forwards. Thoughts, gents?
Yeah, as you said, even with the Whole Cake Island, I think even after the bomb, the bomb stuff, when the chateau collapsed, I think there was about 50 or more chapters, or I should say episodes, after that, before the ending of the arc. So is a bit, you can't, like, you can't say this is how many chapters, these how many more chapters we're gonna get before the ending of the arc or something like that.
It's crazy to even think about doing that. Absolutely crazy.
Well, that is crazy, but I guess like you can kind of agree with that, but you know, I'm sure Wano's got, I don't know, maybe way more chapters left into that, because I'm sure Wano's going to be way longer than any of us expected it to be.
Yeah. On the topic of individuals still coming in, I think that there's a spy for Blackbeard. I don't know. I personally think, and I'm looking at the chat, Basanta has dropped one person that I think is going to show up, and that's Vegapunk. I do feel that he has been mentioned enough, especially in the early parts of this arc. That's Oda leaving the breadcrumbs, especially with Orochi talking to Eiichiro saying, "I want Vegapunk." I could see, and this is why I love Oda, because I could very much see some strange old dude just walking along the battlefield. He may do something here, he may do something there, and everyone's like, "Who is this dude?" And he's just like, he just does his own thing. He might even be a boss. I thought Odin was a nerd when I first heard about him when we got to Zoe. I was just like, oh, this is like some dweeb. And then I was gladly proven wrong. Gladly proven wrong. So I'm interested, very, very, very interested in, one, if Vegapunk, if there isn't an extra person coming on, it would either be with Eiichiro or someone who could fly. And I could very much see Vegapunk just be walking around the battlefield for like 5 or 6 chapters, and then we finally get that doom, Dr. Vegapunk. And we're all just like, really? This dude? So I very much could see that.
I do think it's definitely, a real possibility that we could see Vegapunk in this arc. I don't know how likely of a possibility. I just think it's very possible, especially with, you know, how much that he's been mentioned, especially of recent.
Even if we're gonna see Vegapunk, I don't think his reveal is gonna be that casual. Even if it happens the way you said it, like he's gonna touch this, gonna touch that. But I think the reveal will be something like a dialogue with a big shot, maybe the leader of CP0 or even Kaido himself. So probably